Everyone wants to know the answer to this question. What age do people actually get rich? And the honest answer is not the one you see on social media. It's not 25. It's not some wunderkind who built an app in his dorm room. And it's not 30 either. The real number might surprise you. And once you understand why it is what it is, you'll stop stressing about where you are right now and start doing something that actually matters. Let's get into it. The average millionaire in the United States is 61 years old. That's what the Federal Reserve says. That's not a guess or an opinion. That's the data. And before you feel depressed about that number, stay with me. Because there's something inside that number that will completely change how you think about money and time. Most people hear 61 and think, great, I have to wait forever. But that's not what the number means. The number means this: wealth is almost never a lightning strike. It's almost always a slow burn. And the people who get rich are not the people who got lucky at 25. They're the people who started something early and let time do the heavy lifting. And here is the most important thing you need to understand about that. Time is not neutral when it comes to money. Time is a multiplier. And the difference between starting at 25 and starting at 35 is not 10 years of savings. The difference is decades of compounding that you will never get back. Let me make that real. If you invest $300 a month starting at age 25, and the market does what it has historically done, you will be a millionaire by the time you are in your late 50s. That same $300 a month starting at 35 gets you to retirement with about half of that. The money didn't change. The habits didn't change. The only thing that changed was when you started. And that one decision, the timing decision, is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is not motivation talk. This is math. And the math does not care about your feelings. Now here's the part nobody talks about enough. Most millionaires are not what you picture when you think of rich people. 79% of American millionaires never received an inheritance. 80% grew up in middle-class families or lower. They did not have a head start. They were not given anything. They just made specific decisions over a long period of time. And the most important decision almost every single one of them made was to start before they felt ready. They didn't wait until they had more money to invest. They invested whatever they had. They didn't wait until the market felt safe. They invested consistently through every dip and every crash. And they didn't wait until they understood everything perfectly. They started with what they knew and learned the rest along the way. Waiting is the most expensive thing most people do with their 20s and 30s. And they don't even realize it. Because waiting feels responsible. It feels like you're being careful. It feels like you're waiting for the right moment. But the right moment is not coming. The right moment was the moment you got your first paycheck and decided to do nothing with it. So what does this mean for you right now? If you are in your 20 seconds, you have something that no amount of money can buy later. You have time, and if you are not using it, you are wasting the single most powerful financial asset you will ever own. In your 20s, even $50 a month matters. Not because $50 is a lot of money, but because $50 a month for 40 years at average market returns becomes something that looks nothing like $50 a month. The amount is not the point. The habit is the point. And the habit started early is worth more than the habit started late with more money. If you're in your 30s, you haven't missed the window. You've just made it smaller. But smaller is not closed. People who get serious in their 30s and stay serious still end up in a completely different financial position than the people who never started at all. The key in your 30s is to stop letting perfect be the enemy of started. You don't need the best plan. You need a plan you can actually follow right now. If you're in your 40s or 50s, the game changes a little. But here's what doesn't change. Every dollar you invest today is still more powerful than every dollar you invest tomorrow. And remember, the average millionaire is 61, which means people are doing this all the way through their 50s and still getting there. Now, let's talk about what actually gets people to the number, because it's almost never what people think. It's not a high salary. 9 out of 10 millionaires never took out a business loan. 73% never carried a credit card balance. Their income was normal. What was not normal was what they did with it. They lived below their means. Not forever, not miserably, but consistently. They didn't buy the nicest car they could afford. They bought a car that got them where they needed to go. They didn't upgrade their lifestyle every time their income went up. They kept their expenses steady and watched the gap between what they earned and what they spent grow wider every year. And that gap is where wealth actually lives. Not in the salary, not in the bonus, not in the investment tip from a friend. In the gap between what comes in and what goes out. And the bigger you make that gap, the faster the number grows. The second thing they did was automate it. They didn't rely on willpower to save every month. They made saving automatic. The money moved before they could spend it. They didn't have to be disciplined every day because the system was disciplined for them. And this is the unsexy truth about getting rich. It's not a decision you make once. It's a system you set up once and then just don't break. The third thing they did was leave the money alone. Warren Buffett is worth more than $100 billion. And most of that wealth came after his 60th birthday. He didn't build it by chasing trends or jumping in and out of stocks. He built it by investing in things he believed in and then waiting longer than most people are comfortable waiting. Most people cannot do that, not because they lack knowledge, but because they panic. And pulling your money out of the market every time it drops is the single fastest way to guarantee you never get where you're trying to go. Here's the truth. The age you're most likely to get rich is not some magic number. It's not 25 or 30 or 35. It's whatever age you are right now if you start right now. Because the best time to start building wealth was when you got your first job. The second best time is today. Not after you pay off this credit card, not after things settle down, not after you figure out the perfect plan. Today. Because every single day you wait is a day of compounding. You are choosing to give up. And those days add up to something you will feel decades from now. So make one decision today. Not 10 decisions. Not a complete financial overhaul. Just one. Open the account if you don't have one. Set the automatic transfer. Choose the amount that feels slightly uncomfortable, not impossible. And then do the thing that most people are unwilling to do. Leave it alone. Don't check it every day. Don't panic when the market drops. Don't pull it out when life gets hard. The people who build real wealth are not the people with the best strategy. They are the people with the most patience. And patience is a decision you make over and over again. That's it. That's the whole plan. It's not complicated. It's just not easy. And the people who get rich are not the people who found the secret. They are the people who did the boring thing consistently for longer than everyone else was willing to do it. If this is the kind of content that makes you think differently about money, there's more where this came from. The next video is already waiting for you. Your age right now is not too early and it is not too late. It is exactly the right age to start. Think of building wealth like planting a tree. The best time to plant it was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. You don't need to understand everything about trees to plant one. You just need to put it in the ground, water it regularly, and stop digging it up every time the weather gets bad. That's it. That's the whole thing. The tree does the rest.